Did you know that many great startups did not just grow because of money? They grew because of strong branding. Yes, a good brand helps people trust you, remember you, and of course, talk about you. Welcome to Tech Hub. My name is Victor Arke, and today we are talking about branding, how it works, why it matters, and how startups can use it to grow fast. But first, let us check what is happening in the world of tech, here in Nigeria, Africa, and around the world. All right, here's what is happening in the world of technology. Nigeria's telecom regulator pushes for better network and cheaper data. We have the Nigerian Communications Commission. They've asked telecom companies to improve network quality and work toward lowering data costs. The commission said many Nigerians complain about slow internet, sudden disconnections, and fast disappearing data. NCC says it will continue monitoring the networks closely and push the operators to do better. If you ask me, this is good news for startups, remote workers, and content creators who rely heavily on strong internet to do their work. Well, away from that, we see that technology experts across Africa are calling for stronger digital infrastructure, including data centers, fiber networks, and stable electricity. They say Africa cannot grow a strong tech economy without improving the basic systems that power digital businesses. Many experts believe that if Africa invests more in digital systems now, the continent could compete with large tech markets around the world. Well, if you leave Nigeria and Africa, we see that tech billionaire Elon Musk has suggested a bold new idea, a group of solar-powered AI satellites that can slightly reduce the amount of sunlight reaching the Earth. Musk says these could help cool the planet and slow down global warming. However, some scientists warn that blocking sunlight, even a little, could affect weather patterns, farming, and nature. The idea is still being studied and has not been approved thus far. Well, we said that Google has revealed a new plan to put data centers in space. These centers will be powered by the sun and will help handle the growing demand for AI. Because they are in space, they will stay cool naturally and use clean energy. But engineers say that there are still many challenges before it becomes real. Well, we know that tech is moving fast, from digital centers in Nigeria to AI satellites in space. Now, let's talk about today's big topic, which of course is branding for startups. Branding is not just a logo. Branding is the feeling people get when they hear your name. It is the way you speak, the colors you use, your style, your promise, and the experience that you give to your users. All the big companies that you can think of today did not just build products, they built brands people trust. Now let's bring in our guest, a man who lives and breathes branding. Joining me today is Victor Edemekong, a young Nigerian tech entrepreneur and the founder of Novus Africa. Victor has built digital products, brand systems, and creative solutions for businesses in real estate, fashion, and tech. He believes in simplicity, structure, and strategy, and he is part of the new wave of African digital builders. Let's talk branding. Hello, Victor. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you, Victor.
Yeah, it's good to have you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. It's good to have you join us on the conversation this morning.
It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. Now let's launch into the conversation, right?
Great.
Many startups think that branding is just about logo. Is this wrong? Or is this correct?
No, you're not. You're very correct. A lot of people feel like branding starts with, in fact, when you talk about branding, people want to think logo design. And that's just an aspect of branding. And if I'm putting numbers to it, I'll say probably 20% of the entire branding scope.
Now, from your work at Novus Africa, what has been the biggest branding mistake new founders make?
I think with one of the mistakes I've seen founders have a problem with is ability to understand how imaging first affects your client base, right? So you are a founder of a brand or like a company or a startup or something, and you want to go into the market, and a lot of people fail to understand critically how your imaging affects public appearance, or should I say your client growth and involvement.
Now, we've talked about the misconception about branding. We've talked about some of the mistakes that branding companies make when they are branding. Now, let's give a definition to the concept of branding. What is branding in its essence?
Branding in its essence, as I like to put it, is first what I get to see before I get to interact with you, right? So it's the feel I get before I get to interact with you. And then if you're also looking at it from another standpoint, it is everything that represents you, right? The experience I have with you, the value I get from what you're offering to me, the process you take me through is also part of branding. So it doesn't just stop at the image. Like I said, image is probably 20%, but structures, interface with your clients, procedures, processes, and then finally your outcome and results. These are all embedded into the subject of branding. So branding is the public's perception about a particular brand or product before they even get to have a feel of it.
All right. And of course, I might be right to say that branding actually helps a business position properly, correct?
You're right. Very well. Very well.
So share with us, one good example where good branding has helped a business to be properly positioned.
Okay. I might not be able to give you details in terms of the name for security purpose.
Just an example, basically.
Yeah, I work with a brand that is currently in US, and the idea around the brand was to bring Africa to the United States in terms of they are into food, right? They do they bring African spicy meals into the US.
Yeah.
So something that was quite important with this entire project was staying African but serving the US community. And quite frankly, that's something that, if you want to look at it, these are two different should I say geographical locations, right? And they respond to branding differently. So the truth is we had to factor in a lot of things that play, like give, should I say, credibility to brands in the US and still staying African. Yeah, I don't know if that has given you a broader spectrum of what I mean.
Right. Yeah. Basically talking about the vision and of course maintaining your identity.
Maintaining the identity as an African brand, but trying to still be able to relay and reach out to the American community. And we were able to do that. I think the brand has been running for, call it 2-3 years now, and every time all we keep doing for them is adding extras to what they're doing. The imaging is amazing. We always get amazing testimonials, and the lady always keeps coming back for us to keep doing stuff for her.
Right. Now let's talk about you a little bit as a brand strategist, right? Because you're one of the person that is making wave in the African tech industry as a young person as it is. How did your journey begin into branding?
If I'm being honest with you, I think it started as a mistake. It'll be so funny. It started as a mistake, and quite frankly, I started as just a graphic designer.
I remember.
I think what stood out for me was the energy I put into what I wanted to do, and how I started was I told myself, I'm going to do this thing. I want to be excellent at it. I don't want to do it and do it halfway. So it started as a mistake, quite frankly. I didn't think I was going to do it. In fact, I wasn't even in the design space. I was more in the music space, so to say. And I started the journey, and when I left the space I was before in Osun State, way back, I started asking myself, what's that one thing I can keep doing? I think I can go into and I can keep doing. And I said, okay, you know what, design. Let me do the whole design thing. And then I started doing designs, and I wasn't getting the response I hoped, to get. I wasn't getting all of what I dreamed I wanted to get. But I think I stuck to it. And through the process, a couple of companies I've worked with have shaped me, quite frankly, to the person I am today and to what I'm doing. And if I'm, looking at it from retrospect, Novos Africa didn't start as Novos Africa. It started as something else. We used to call it, I don't know if you remember, it started as something else, but I modified, and when I started to think global, is when I came up with the name Novus Africa, and I had to push the brand away from being a personal brand.
Right. I remember from that drummer boy to the graphic designer now to the brand strategist. I remember the story basically. But let's wrap up with you, Victor. You know, some persons, of course, want to get into branding and, you know, they don't know how to get started. You know, what is your advice? How do you get started into the world of branding?
I think the misconception everybody's going to have now is that for you to go into branding, you have to know how to design. And I will tell you, no. It's the same way I also tell designers that you don't have to be extremely creative to go into design. You just need to understand principles, fundamentals, and you know the foundations on which these things run. Once you have that clearly, you know, maybe probably going through a course or something or personal study, because from my own experience, I know how many nights, I know how many Google Glow subscriptions I was doing to, you know, ensure that I was reading and being up to date with what is going on. All these are important factors. But do you need to know how to design to go into branding? No, you don't. Okay. But you need to have an eye for excellence. You need to have an eye for reaching people. You need to have an eye for understanding how things work. Because in the world of branding, you would demystify a lot of, you know, weird or complex things and break it down to its simplest form. Because literally, that's what branding is. So a client tells you, I want to do this, and it seems so high up there and mysterious. And then the essence of a brand strategy is to take that thing that you've given to us and bring it in the simplest way possible that the public or our, should I say, our clients or, you know, customers can rightly relate to it. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah.
So if I'm giving you an example. Take, for instance, a brand like GTB, right? I think they have one of the simplest logos you would probably want to, you know, examine. But quite frankly, if you want to see the structure, if you break that logo down and then they tell you the principles, they tell you the vision, they tell you the core values of this bank, you would understand how they were able to simplify all of these things into the image that you have, into the feel and the expression, into the colors too that you also see. So, yeah. To know it, to go into branding shouldn't scare you. It's not rocket science. You just have to have a heart for, you know, that thing, and then go all out, make your findings, study, read books, because that's what I do, and then, you know, you'll be there in no time. And then hands-on experience too. Let me not leave that out.
Definitely.
Hands-on experience. Hope quite a lot of people. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Victor, for your time with me today on Tech Hub. I've got to let you go now. Thank you so much for your time, man.
You're welcome.
All right, of course. Now let's move straight to the tech tip of the day. Well, today's tech tip is simple. What you need to do, let's talk about creating your personal brand on social media. As much as possible, use the same name and username on all platforms. It helps people find you easily. It also builds trust and makes your brand stronger. Take, for instance, your startup name is Victor Ake. Don't use Victor_Ake123 on one app and then Victor Ake on another app. Make sure you keep it simple, keep it clean, and the same everywhere. People can as well get to reach you as fast as possible. Now, before we go, here are some simple ways a startup can build a strong brand. Don't remember that we had a conversation with Victor Edemekong, and he shared with us his thoughts about branding. But here are some simple things that you need to know before you design anything, right? First of all, know who you are before you begin to design. So what you need to do is ask questions. What do you stand for? Who are you helping? What problem do you want to solve? Remember that a strong brand starts from the inside. Number two, keep your look simple. As much as possible, use simple colors, simple fonts, and of course, a clean logo. People remember what they can easily recognize. Thirdly, speak the same way everywhere. Your tone on your website, your social media, your emails, and app should match. If you sound serious today and playful tomorrow, people can just get confused. So choose your struggle and stay there. All right. And next on our list is make your users feel special. Branding is also how you treat people. As much as possible, please reply to your messages on your social media. Say thank you. When people compliment you, always say thank you to them. All right? Fix complaints fast. People remember how you make them feel. Next, let your story be clear. Every startup has a story. Why you started, what you believe, and who you want to help. A good story makes people feel connected to your product. Remember, branding is not about big money. It is about clarity, consistency, and care. If you understand who you are, speak clearly, and treat your users well, your brand will grow as fast as possible. All right, thank you so much for watching Tech Hub today. My name is Victor Arke. Until next time, stay techy.